Okay. Let's give this a go then. I didn't really want a starting soon screen at all, but what was happening was when I was launching straight into it, well, I had two choices. I either launched straight into it, and then when I watched back, I realised that, like, the first few seconds had been chopped off, and it's like, I'm sure I started off talking about this thing, and that's completely gone. Okay, so the other alternative was sort of sitting around going, am I on? Am I on? Maybe I'm on? Don't know. I'll check the thing. Am I on? Oh, I'm on. Yeah. Just getting silly. So I thought, well, okay, I'll compromise. I won't have like a 10-minute starting soon screen. Because, yeah, the reality is, I mean, I'll probably just end up thinking, oh, I've got 10 minutes. I'll walk away, make myself a cup of coffee, completely forget that I've set the stream going. And it'll be 20 minutes before I get here, and I'll go, oh yeah, I set that counting down. Oops. So, no. But 1 minute, just so that I can get an idea of exactly when it kicked in. And then maybe I can go for 30 seconds, 15 seconds. You know, it doesn't need to be a whole minute. It's just I need to work out. It's just partly an experiment, like this whole thing. I just want to see exactly when it kicks in. Let me know if you can hear the fan noise in the background. It's very warm here. It's one of those weird days where it started off boiling this morning, absolutely boiling. This afternoon it cooled down. So how is it hotter now? The sun's gone down. I mean, alright, I can come up with numerous physics reasons why it might have happened, but it doesn't make intuitive sense anyway. Yeah, the fan's staying on for now. But what I thought I'd try and do is another Moonbase Alpha high stakes, but I'm going to remember to put the solar panels down this time. Talking about heat and the sun, here we are. I didn't realise that repairing the solar panels was a thing, even though the in-game audio told me it was a thing. Even though the in-game audio tells me that's one of the first things I should do, so I went through the whole game. Sorry if you haven't seen this, by the way. I'll backtrack a bit. So, Moonbase Alpha is a game made by NASA that I've only just discovered, although loads of people already know about. In fact, somebody said to me straight away, what was it? John Madden. And I was just like, I genuinely thought at first that they'd forgotten to tag their friend who happened to be called John Madden because it didn't show up with the link on social media, and I didn't get it. And then I search online, and I find this forum post that says, why do people keep mentioning John Madden when talking about Moonbase Alpha? And apparently it's because it was funny at the time. I think it's one of those you had to be there jokes, because I don't quite get it. There is still a text-to-speech function in the game Moonbase Alpha, and people used it to make lots of, ethereal sounds. Like if you put a long string of just the letter U all the way through, it makes it sound like a really sort of surreal, spooky, weird robot chorus type of thing going on. It's quite funny, but that I get. Why John Madden? What does it sound like? Am I saying something that sounds like something else when I say John Madden repeatedly? John Madden. I don't know what it sounds like, so I don't get what it's funny. And it's one of those things where if you have to explain the joke, sometimes it stops it being funny. But I feel like Commander Data off Star Trek trying to understand why it's humorous. And it's like, if only somebody tell me, then I could go, I see why that might be humorous. No idea. He's some sort of, maybe it's a cultural thing that I don't get. Maybe people used to go John Madden, because he was a coach, I think, an American coach. It still is, perhaps. Did a bit of research, tiny bit of research. But again, it's not a name I would know here in the UK. So it's kind of surprising that everybody else knows about it. Again, what have I missed? Tonight's big question. What is all this fuss about John Madden? Anyway, my primary goal of this mission is to do everything I did last time, and I successfully managed to fix everything in time, and then I spent the last 4 minutes just wandering back and forth on the moon, going, why is this not working? Why have I connected everything up? It's at 100% efficiency. I'm getting 0 power on this moon base, based on the moon, which I still haven't explained. I've gone off on a rant about John Madden. So the idea is it's a moon base on the moon, and you've got solar panels which are giving you the power, and a meteor hits and blows up a bit of it, so you've got to go and repair it, basically. And you can do it as teams, although I'm only doing it on my own because nobody's joined me on a team, and I'd have to set it up and host it locally, and I don't know if my streaming would cope with that, actually. It's just about coping with getting one video stream out, whether it would cope with getting multiple games, multiple people, I don't know. Maybe in the future. But I'm doing it all on my own, so actually maybe doing it within the 25-minute time limit is a bit of a struggle when you're on your own. But I managed it. I did manage it. I managed to, repair all the power conduits and repair all of the oxygen generating bits and CO2 scrubbers and all of that, and get the repair robots, and I did it all. And then it said 0 power, and I was just like, but why? And it should have been obvious. And then I sort of totted over to the solar panels. I was like, oh, what's this button do? It lowers the solar panel. That's very interesting, but how does that help? And then I realised, if I'd only lowered the solar panel about 3 minutes ago, welded it, repaired it, and put it up back to face the sun, then I'd have had 100% power, because I fixed everything else except the solar panel, because I didn't realise, or I didn't listen properly to the fact that the solar panels also needed fixing. But I also didn't know how to fix them. But of course, once I finally twigged with like 2 seconds to spare, it was too late to go back then. In fact, no, I don't think I even bothered. I think I restarted the game and I just thought, I'm just going to go in and see what happens when you lower the solar panels. It's like, oh, what happens is the solar panels come down and you can actually reach them to repair them. So, that's the plan anyway. Shall we go for it then? So, I was going to say, let's... because it's a bit of an old game, I forget that I get locked into it if I don't switch everything over first. So let's do that just quickly. And we want that back down there where it was. Yep, there you go. And that's there, right, okay. Where was I before? I think it was over here. And game audio piped through so that you can actually hear it as well. Might help, because that's what I didn't do last time. I was talking all the way through the game about how the game was telling me to do certain things, completely oblivious to the fact that nobody else could actually hear it. So, okay, let's create a game then. And again, this is designed to be a multiplayer game. I'm playing it on my own. Competitive mode, so that's the high stakes mode, so you've got to restore the oxygen production in under 25 minutes. And let's play the opening cinematic, because I've seen it before, but you might not have, so it's pretty dramatic. I'll try not to spoil it. Well, I've already said a meteor's going to hit, haven't I suppose, but could probably hear the fan now.
Moonbase Alpha, this is Research Team Beta. Over.
Copy that, Beta. Go ahead.
We're returning from the field. We should be back at the outpost in less than 5 minutes. Over.
Copy that, Beta. We'll see you in 5 minutes at nav point.
What? What was that?
Nav point. Looks like we got hit by something. Maybe a meteor strike. Smashed up the solar array, something terrible, and knocked out the living quarters life support system. Beta, we need your help. We're running out of oxygen here. We need to get that solar array online and the life support system repaired ASAP. All the supplies you need should be in the equipment shed. Readings show the area around the life support system is too hazardous to approach on foot, so make sure to deploy repair robots. Please hurry.
Copy that. En route.
Okay, I'll do my best. It was close last time.
This is HQ. The meteor strike has crippled our base and shut down oxygen production. You need to repair the damage immediately. Here's how oxygen production works. The solar panels absorb energy from the sun.
Okay.
Power cables and couplers transfer this energy to the power distributor. The distributor powers the life support system, which creates oxygen that is piped to the living quarters. Damaged equipment is indicated by a colored icon on your map. You must repair our base and restore oxygen production. Go to the equipment shed to get supplies. There's work to be done.
Okay, there's the equipment shed.
Our monitors show that the power distributor is not sending power to the life support system. Construct a robot at the equipment shed and begin repairs on the power distributor.
Move your mouse to look around the world. Walk using the W, A, S, and D keys. When you approach an object that you can interact with, it will glow. While the object is glowing, left-click to interact with it.
Now I know already I'll need a
Left-click on the Tools category.
welding torch.
The equipment shed contains replacement equipment, tools, and robots. Access the equipment shed by left-clicking on it.
Because one of these...
Now, you're ready to make repairs.
Power
Press
cut.
N to open your map and locate
Judgment.
an item that needs repairing.
Should I talk to people?
Left-click on the welding torch, and then click the Accept button.
That's the one. Yeah, I see it. I see it. I see it.
The lights on the equipment display the power flow of the component. Green components are receiving power, red components are not. Left-click on a damaged item and select Repair.
No, it'll take 1 minute
This
11 to
component
repair.
is
The
heavily
repair will
damaged
take 2
and will take a
minutes
long
and
time
5.
to repair. Replacing it may be faster.
So I need to do these
The repair
puzzles.
circle
Well, I've
tracks
already
your repair
committed.
progress.
So let's turn that down a bit so I'm not shouting over it. So these give you a bit of extra time if you don't do them sloppily like that. So I have to concentrate a bit more on that. Sorry, I was having to shout over the instructions.
There is a potential bypass to the circuit that will save you
Yeah, I
repair
know, I
time.
know. I've already
Left-click
committed
on
to
one end
repairing
of
it
the circuit and move
now.
the mouse
So
to
I probably
solder
should have
the
got
connection to the other
replacement,
end.
given that it's going to take so long to repair. Yeah, it's not going to be enough, is it? No. Shouldn't have done this on high stakes mode, should I? It's gonna blow. "11 seconds save." Oh, have I just done it? That was close if so. That's very close if so.
Press F1 at
It's
any
annoying
time
about this
to
game. Sometimes
access
it doesn't
help
register
and
the
a complete
unclick.
list of game controls.
Okay, we did it. Any others going critical? Yeah, looks like that one might. That. Although that's not actually wired
This
in at the
component
moment.
has been damaged. The severity of damage affects the repair time.
Okay. Get going on this one then. It's nearly done. So what happened last time was basically I repaired all of these. Got it all wired up. Didn't fix the panels. So actually, while none of those are critical, though one of them probably will go critical when I'm not looking. Let's get over to the solar panels, because I didn't do last time. And as far as I know, I only needed a welding torch to do that.
The damaged solar array is just ahead. All of the components along a solar panel's power line must be functional before the power distributor receives energy.
Yeah.
More energy means more oxygen.
But we're going to try something different, right? Oop. It's my head against the mic. Okay. Can I repair it with just a welding torch, though, I don't know. This is the bit I forgot to do last time.
Fixing loose solar cell connections might save you repair time. Left-click on one end of the solar cell, then move the mouse to solder a connection to the other end.
Okay. That one's repaired. Let's see then. Let's repair this one. It's a bigger repair job, yeah. Also not entirely convinced a welding torch would fix it. Probably need to send a new solar panel up, but I mean, some areas in which this game is ultra realistic, and somewhere it forgets to unclick the mouse, so you can't get out of it. Yep. It's not perfect. That was just sloppy. There's a big gaping hole like that in a real solar panel. I don't think a welding torch is going to help. In fact, a welding torch will probably only make it worse. Melt the solar panels. Although you're on the moon, where there's no atmosphere, so... Maybe, actually. I mean, there's obviously a welding torch would have oxygen going through it, so maybe it's not so bad. I don't know. But then the heat wouldn't dissipate through the air, because there's no air. Oh, shouldn't have been talking so much science. How it's going to fix this with a welding torch. You're just going to tidy up the edges. Yeah, okay. Blooming clever astronaut, this one. Okay, so next mission, check that the power couplers are okay. And to wire up the broken one, we're going to need a wrench as well. Okay, now, there's a toolbox there. What's in it? There's a spare coupler there as well, so I wouldn't have needed to go all the way back to the equipment shed. So there's a welder in there. And a wrench. No, sorry, the welder is the one I just put in, but the wrench is what I need to connect this up. So, whereas last time I was going back and forth to, I need to right click to put that down. So last time I was basically going back and forth to the equipment shed to get everything. I didn't need to. They'd actually left me. Oh, sorry, hang on. No. I don't want to deactivate because that'll make that completely disappear. What I want to do is grab the end of this first. I've done this before, right? We need to connect it. Up to there.
The power cable is attached, but the connection is not secured. Use a wrench to secure the connection.
And there was already a wrench in that toolkit. Before I was going back and forth to the equipment shed, not realising that, yeah, that suitcase with all the tools I needed was actually in there. So let's secure that with the wrench. So, solar panels are supplying power. These power conduits are all connected up. So hopefully, let's put that away in there. Oh, and I need to get the welding torch again.
Bisme, do you copy? Can you provide a status on repairs?
Yeah, we need to get there quick. Not right now, Moonbase. Need to concentrate on these. Any others going critical? No, only that one. Thank goodness. Just under 15 minutes left on the clock. 25. So I spent 10 minutes doing this, but I've repaired the solar panels. I'm about to finish repairing this conduit in 2 seconds time. Fantastic. Let's stop that one going critical as well. It's not that damaged for now, but it could go critical while I'm repairing the other stuff over there in the distance. I'm pointing. I just realised you can't see. Well, you either can't see, or you can see me pointing at you, whereas I'm pointing into the distance. So I should use the astronaut to point. There we are. So can you see that in the distance there? 5 kilowatts incoming. I might not be close enough for you to see it yet, but that was saying 0 kilowatts. There was no power at all before. Okay, so I'm gonna just put the tool away there. And should I pick this up and take it with me just in case? Just in case anything else goes critical. Or in case I can fix anything the robots can't. Okay, toolbox is weighing me down a bit. Let's just put it down somewhere close so I know it's there if I need it. I put it in my own way. That was pretty stupid. Right, so equipment shed. I need robot stat. So basically, again, benefit of foresight. If I walked over there, it would warn me that there was like lethal stuff going on, and I couldn't go in there. So I'm going to need a robot. Construct
Create a
robot.
customized robot that can safely approach the life support system and aid in your repairs.
I basically need both robots.
Right-click to drop the case. Left-click on the case.
What's quite
and
neat about
select
this as
deploy
well is
to control the robot.
if I drop it too far away, it says that the signal's not quite strong enough. So they've thought of that as well. So what I'm going to do is drop it about halfway, and then so about there. Let's drop it there. Let's blow it properly in a minute. Okay, right. Yeah, but I don't want to.
Move the robot using the standard movement keys and left-click for the
Alright,
drag.
well let's move it into position, I suppose, as well. Get it fixing what it can. We are going to need both. Hopefully though, even if I have to spend a little bit of time over here with the robots. Ah. This is the last thing I have to do. So everything else is working. The power's all working, everything's all green, none of the robots got critical. They are, I've got the tools close to hand. That was just a bit silly, wasn't it? Just realised I've got a new mouse with DPI buttons on it. I should probably use them. Because then it'd be a bit more sensitive. Although that might not be good. Maybe I'm shaking too much during these circuits. Oh, it would please me so much though if I could do this on the first go tonight. I'm trying to jinx myself by saying such silly things out loud.
We're starting to feel some effects of the low oxygen.
Yeah, I know.
Estimate on repair completion.
It doesn't. You don't have to talk, by the way. Well, unless there's a bit in the game I don't know about. There's nothing to say. Like to update everybody in there. Though obviously, if there are real people in there right now, that was on. Fine. If there are real people in there right now, I can understand why they'd be worried. Okay, let's do what we can with this robot then. So basically there's one robot that does welding and one that does the fixing of the CO2 scrubber, which is the red thing that you can see behind there. And so it's getting power. Bet it's leaking like a... Okay, so it's telling me that
Excellent. We're seeing an increase in power distributor efficiency. Continue with your repairs to increase overall
basically
efficiency.
the oxygen is not going to be restored in time. That's what that's telling me. Yeah, try that. So I basically have just under 9 minutes to get round, weld everything I can, get that efficiency up to 100%. I need to save as much time as possible by doing these puzzles as quickly as possible, but of course the quicker you do them, the worse it gets in a way. Right, I don't want that robot too far away, because that's going to need to come back and weld something probably. See how we go. What about time saving now? Ah, guess I've got a lot of time to get back to the equipment shed to get the other robot. 8 minutes. It's doable because some of these repairs will only take a few seconds. It's cutting it fine. Especially if I lose time by doing silly things like that. Oh, 7 minutes 30, I don't think I'm going to do it. I was optimistic earlier. Seeing that 12% is just... I mean, at least you don't lose... Come on. You don't lose any time if you don't do the puzzle. Or if you fail the puzzle. Circuit soldering. You just don't gain the time bonus, if you like. So... there's that. Terrible. How much else is there to go? Right, that just needs to be plugged in. This is hard. Shouldn't have let myself get demotivated, should I? That's the answer. I've completed a lot better those puzzles. Okay, let's get straight out, come on. Stuff around the other side for you to do very quickly. I shouldn't take you on, come on. Fudge. No! That!
We're starting to feel some effects of the low oxygen levels. Any estimate on repair completion?
Wouldn't recognise the click again. So frustrating. Okay. Oh, I don't know, right? It says oxygen will be fully restored in 2 minutes. So I might have done it, even though I haven't technically done it. Maybe. As in, I've repaired enough this time. Because if the oxygen gets fully restored in less time than I've got left, surely that means that's fine, right? Okay, so let's not lose hope just yet. Even though I know I won't finish all the repairs I need to. Last time I was... Oh. Last time I was doing it back to front. Right, I need the other robot. Exit robot. It's worth a shot, isn't it? It is worth a shot. Well, I'm the silent one running out of EVA time, so... Am I going to end up succeeding in restoring the oxygen, but being out too long? I don't know. Am I meant to get back to base? Be pretty annoying, wouldn't it, to both win and lose by basically running out of oxygen myself. Oh well. It's new territory. I haven't seen what happens when I run out of time, but I've actually completed the aims. Right, so let's get around that side first. That thing on the floor, basically, needs putting into there. The exclamation mark is. And then it needs fixing by the other robot. So this is where
Master alarm is off. Oxygen flow is returning to nominal. That was close. Oxygen flow is normal, and the levels appear to be stable. We'll need to check the repairs again, but this should hold for now. Thanks.
Yeah. Is that now it? What about those beacons that are on the floor? Do I do anything with those beacons? Oh. I was expecting a little bit more, I'll admit. It's like, well, okay, thanks is nice, but, oh. After all of my complaining, I'm a bit underwhelmed now. I've done it. Oh, I should have learned, shouldn't I? It's like you don't finish a series. You never watch the last episode of a series when you know it's finished. The whole thing. I mean, the whole... Not just a series, the whole show. I used to save them up. And I thought, oh, go on, I've got to watch the last episode sometime. And then I watched it and I was like, oh. Well, that's the end. Okay, so, ta-da! With 2 minutes to spare, I managed to repair it. So the aim, the last time I tried to repair everything, basically. And that was obviously the mistake, because, yeah, I didn't actually need to repair everything. Was the point. I only needed to repair enough to get the oxygen going back to the base. And, okay, so... sorry. If you're underwhelmed, so am I. The end. That's all I planned to do. I thought, right, I'm gonna have to have another go at this. Especially as I build at high stakes. Well, it was. There was only 2 minutes left. There was only 2 minutes left, really. But yeah, oh well. I guess I've got work tomorrow. Short but sweet's good, right? Or for I know I've said Moon Monday, but we could get a little bit closer to home, closer to Earth, and there is something that I still haven't finished, and I'm determined to actually finish off, and that is the SpaceX simulator. Now, Bob and Doug have safely returned home, of course. Congratulations to them and the team at NASA and SpaceX. That was a few days ago. But I didn't manage to even successfully dock them yet. So if it was left to me, they'd be just floating around in space like in Major Tom, the David Bowie song. So we could do that. That was the wrong button, Jim. That's the one. Right, so haven't planned this, only planned to do the moon one. So how do we switch over to that? So let's have a look and go there. Might help if I just close that, actually. That will probably do it. No. That one. There we go. Ooh. Any particular reason? It's very odd. That might be why. I haven't made a screen for it. Right, okay. So let's do that then. There we go. Let's say winter title must match. Okay. Because what's really nice about this as well is since I got the new graphics card. Watch this now. It's only a browser-based game, right? But that was just like, whoa, compared to how it was before. Mental. Everything, you know, oof. Difference. It's a bit psychedelic as well, I suppose. Yeah, so, okay. What I should have done was read the instructions first, shouldn't I? I was too busy showing off. So the green numbers are the corrections necessary to reach the ISS. Successful docking is achieved when all numbers are below 0.2. And so that's it. I was arguing with it last time. I was like, I've docked it. I definitely docked it. No, not all the numbers were below 0.2, were they? And I presume that means all of these ones, these translation ones, as well as these angular ones. So, okay. We've got rotation controls. We've got position controls. We've got... Yeah, I've never quite worked out how that works. Okay, so keep your rate below, yeah, I didn't do that either, below minus 0.2 meters per second, so minus 0.2 because you're approaching the station. Good old GCSE/A-level physics coming back to all of you now, I'm guessing. Right, so let's get the rotation lined up first. The roll is decreasing, the yaw is also decreasing. We need to get the yaw spot on. It will change slightly all the time because, as we were told during the whole mission, yeah, see, you've got to remember that you're not moving in straight lines. The space station is in an orbit and you're in a separate orbit. You can't just go straight in. You've got to make sure your orbits are actually aligned. So I'm glad I'm not doing this for real. I'm sure if I was doing it for real, I'd be genned up on every single possible number, so I shouldn't be too worried. As in, I wouldn't be doing anything I'm doing right now. I'd have my head completely stuck in the numbers. Right. I see. I'm at the wrong angle. That would help. Let's get to station keeping. So at least one of those numbers is at 0. There we go. My roll is spot on, but my yaw is now off. See, I'm not convinced that. How's that going to work? That's completely wrong. Or are you saying that it's an illusion, maybe? That because maybe my angles are off. Because that's what I did last time. I thought, it said do the roll and yaw and pitch first, so I did that. And I lined it up perfectly on the mark, but maybe I wasn't. Maybe my translation was actually off. So this seems very, very counterintuitive. And probably wrong, but... Sorry, yeah, in case I didn't explain it earlier, this is the ISS SpaceX Dragon docking simulator, which is entirely free and you can get by looking online. I think it's ISS-SpaceX, something like that. So look, can I go out of full screen mode? ISS-sim.spacex.com. There you go. Totally free to play. I don't know how long they're going to leave it up. I hope indefinitely, because it's good. It's really good. In fact, at first I thought, they've simplified everything. And okay, probably. But actually, one of the screens that Bob and Doug on the actual Dragon capsule, one of the screens looked almost exactly like this. So they've put their own software into this, even if it may be a scaled down version, but it's a very real example of an interface that may make some small part of the actual experience of flying the Dragon capsule. So I admire them for that. It's good when people do that, and it's not just a toy version. It is a scaled down version, but it's not a toy version. It's the real controls. And if I really had a touch screen, in front of me, I could pretend I was actually piloting the real Dragon. Right? Okay. So let's move us down. Are we moving? Yeah, very slowly. Rate minus 0.016. Roll, pitch, and yaw, staying steady. Just try not to get it into a chaotic spin like last time. Poor Bob and Doug would not have survived, or the lunch wouldn't have anyway with me last time when I did it. Okay. Chill. Because again, that's the other thing. I was impatient last time. I was like, I know you're not meant to go this fast with the real thing, but I need to do it quick. Yeah. I ended up getting really close, and then the mark just flew way... Well, I flew way past it. And propelled them into a hyperbolic orbit, where there would have been no chance of them getting back to the ISS. Poor Bob and Doug there. Fascinating to watch though. Did anybody else see the coverage? I've talked about it to a few other people who have when I've been watching their streams, and some people have seen it, some people haven't. What did you think of it? Starship hop happened as well. That's a hard sentence to say. Starship hop. Okay, we could go a bit faster. Yeah, I know. Too fast. It's warning me already. But I'd like to get there today. Having said that, took 2 hours from them being soft docked to actually docking properly. I think, was it? No, they docked straight up. It took about 3. No, was it 3? About 3-4 hours actually. I think. between them being docked and actually being able to get in. I wouldn't be able to stand that. Right, let me in. And the rate. Yeah, I thought. It's a bit confusing because the rate said 0 then, but the rate is being referenced compared to the station, not compared to the actual amount of thrust you've got. I'm guessing. I don't know. So it looked like I had 0 speed then, but I could see I was still moving up. So I'm watching that Z, by the way. That Z parameter. I'm just making that 0. It has to be less than 0.2. That's... go for perfectionism. Exactly. I don't know if you can see that because I know that's set quite small, but the X, Y, and Z are the ones that are left of center on my screen. And so far I've got X is 200 meters, Y is 12 meters, Z is now spot on. Well, okay, it's wavering a bit, so we're gonna have to go left a bit to get that Y value down. Actually, while things are... No, I need to go down. While things are relatively stable, can I get a second window up maybe? I don't know. See if I can do that. Doing it on the hop. Let's get a source mirror of ISS mirror. I'm going to wonder what that means later on. That's docking simulator, yeah. Of course, that's not particularly helpful now. It's just the same. I'll be back in a sec. Hang on. Right. Filters. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here. It's just you can't see me on the flight. Right. Filters. Crop. I basically want to crop the middle of it. 1,000. Nope, too much. 500. 600. It's the same the other side then. 400. Is it only that bit you can't see? Because the other ones are a bit bigger, aren't they? Let me know. If it's only that bit, I can go down a bit. Oof. 650. No, I can go right up. 1200. No, 1100. 1150. 500. There we go. Close. So if I move, sorry, there's no border around it. I'm going to put it, and I'm going to put it on top of me. Actually, there you go. That'd make more sense, wouldn't it? There we go. Right. So those are the numbers I was talking about. And I haven't drifted that far. That's good. Okay. So, yeah, that's much better. I can see it myself better as well now. Helps us all. Good practice for... it is good practice, as we used to learn in, when I was doing supply teaching and stuff. If you do something that's good practice in one area, it's good practice in all areas. So it helps me too. So the XYZ... obviously translation in the X direction, left and right, up and down, back and forth. Backwards and forwards, I should say, not back and forth. You're not moving back and forth. Well, you are, but you don't want to be continuously moving like that in the spaceship, do you? It's the position in the backwards and forwards direction, along the backwards and forwards axis, if you like. So it's drifted in Z a little bit now. So I'm trying to get all of these numbers down to less than 0.2. Let's get our Z back up. So Z, actually, misleading you, Z is obviously up and down, actually, in this case. See, that doesn't look exactly centered to me, but... it's not far off. Now it's drifting up a bit. Come on, 0. Okay, let's get a bit closer then. So, yeah, the problem here is that, obviously, as you can see now, X is 200 meters. I'm 200 meters away from the station, so the X direction is actually back and forth compared to the station. I mean, you know, you can define X, Y, and Z how you like, I suppose, and so... But as long as everybody knows that you're talking about the same coordinate system, of course. So X is the axis in and out of your screen, if you like. If you drew a straight line parallel to your screen, if you just point straight at your screen, like at right angles to your screen, and it's that line. Y direction was left and right in this case then, and Z was up and down. Anyway, I need to get closer, so I need to press this plus button, which is under me here. I've cropped it off a bit. There we are. I'm going to press that. We're going to move in. A bit too fast as well. But again, we need to get there today. But of course, the faster I move in, the faster I have to make course corrections. So let's just do the first bit of the journey faster. This would be really reckless if it was the real thing, so don't do this. If you find yourself in the same position, piloting a Dragon capsule in the near future, don't do what I'm about to do. It's just I want to get... This is what happened last time. Although the roll is steady at 0 degrees, the pitch is at 0 degrees, the yaw is at 0 degrees, there's no shift. These hexagons are straight on, which they weren't before. Z's drifting a bit. Range 130 meters and closing fast. But I'm perfectly aligned almost. Well, Z's at 0.2, I suppose. The range, by the way, is the same as the X coordinate for now because it's more or less perfectly aligned. It's not exact. The range is bottom left of the view. Okay, let's slow it right down. I mean right down. This is putting Chris in the space station, giving him a bit of a heart attack. Me approaching this fast. Is it Chris? I can't remember now. I'm trying to remember the names of everybody that was on board now. Okay. It's a much better way to approach. We can correct our Y and Z now. So the range is 53.3 meters, same as the X coordinate for now again because we've stayed aligned this time. If I can get 2 wins today, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Make up for the humiliating, terrible docking that happened last time. It really was terrible. I mean, of course, with the real Dragon capsule, it would have autopiloted itself from a certain point, but they still had to do a lot before they got to that point. And it's weird, and I've always seen this in real footage as well. It kind of always looks like you're not quite approaching straight on, but I guess the docking connector isn't necessarily... Well, for the Dragon capsule, it is pretty much dead on the nose cone, but there are circumstances, maybe the camera is off-center, I guess, I don't know. So it doesn't actually look like I'm approaching it straight on. Alright, there's a 0.1 meter Z drift going on there. So let's line that back up. Range 44 meters and closing. Enough time for a quick drink in 0 gravity, I reckon. It's just squash, by the way. Yeah, you wouldn't open something like this in 0 gravity. Be all over everything. You have a straw, obviously. Sealed container with a straw. Well, unless you... I mean, yeah, you can. People do have water droplets going around, but you've got to be very careful, haven't you, obviously. You play about and show, look, I'm in 0 gravity, but yeah, but as long as you've got something to mop it up with. Don't just open a water bottle and go, hey. Everything just... Yeah, not good. What was that infamous story about the bacon sandwich that went up with one of the Apollo astronauts or something? Or ham sandwich, was it? Something like that. Coming up to 35 metres, and should be close enough to be able to wave to people in the windows now. It's the side drift, isn't it? But again, that's because you're not actually approaching in a straight line. You're approaching in what you're trying to mathematically make a straight line out of two circles, effectively. So it's, it's like the intersection of two circles, and you're trying to correct it gradually. And if you watch the real Dragon as it was doing this, you've seen it firing thrusters, just tiny little computer controlled, like I'm doing now. And of course, I'm firing the thruster up and then straight back down. That's because firing it up is giving me momentum upwards. I can't just keep going up, because then I'll miss, because it's not going to slow down in space. There's no air resistance to slow it down, so it's not like a car. You don't leave go of the accelerator. When you leave go of the accelerator in a car slows down because you've got friction and air resistance. Air resistance and friction in everything in the car. Obviously the friction with the tyres on the road is helping you go forwards to a point, unless you're braking. But all the moving parts in the engine, etc. Okay, my rate of approach is actually okay, but I probably should slow it down a touch. Just stay on the safe side. It's in blue anyway, it's not in red. It's going to be less than 0.2 meters per second. Less than minus 0.2, I guess. So I'm approaching. It's currently minus 0.101. And I'm going to slow it down just a touch. So, try and give you that. These hot mods, right? Okay, source mirror, ISS mirror 2. I hope I don't crash into the station while I'm doing this. Yeah, I'll just read out the numbers. Enough fancy showing off of my OBS skills, or lack thereof. Right, 16 meters to the station. Rate is minus 0.08, roughly, fluctuating between 0.9 and 0.7. Presumably because, I don't know, actually, why it would be fluctuating so much. Is it the measurements fluctuating and my approach speed is steady, or is it that I don't know, but the rate is well below tolerance? I'm just going to knock it down a touch again, so we're at minus 0.05 meters per second approximately, fluctuating between minus 0.049 and minus 0.054. Let's go down to minus 0.048 then. Range 11.5 meters and closing. Bit of Z drift again. All of the figures are 0. Apart from X, which is also the range right now. Range 10 meters in closing, Z minus 0.1, although it can be within minus 0.2, so we should be okay there. Please, let's do this time. What it does is it lets you get really, really close, and then you think that you're doing well, and then it just goes, failed. So it won't blow up or anything. It's not. Well, in real life it would probably. Well, maybe it wouldn't blow up, but it would hit something bad and do damage. They'd have to come out in spacesuits and fix. And it would cost millions of pounds, millions of dollars probably, millions of euros. I didn't see the ESA logo coming up there. It's less than 7 meters now. Just doing minor course corrections to keep that Z value on 0.0 meters, and the Y value has stayed steady. Now, it doesn't look exactly on the crosshairs there. Do I make a judgment call and nudge it over a tiny bit? Yes, he says. Okay, well, it must be just below what it can measure on that XYZ coordinate system there. It's down into the second decimal place. 4 meters to go. Just keeping it on that crosshair now. Slow it down a bit more again. Approach speed. Even slower. Oh, that's too slow. Come backwards. 0.02 meters per second approximately, with some fluctuation. Okay, I'm going by visual now. I'm obviously looking at the numbers to see my range. 3 meters in closing. Just doing some really minor corrections. Keep the crosshairs on. Should let me slow down. Not to stop. I mean, nothing says I have to go in constantly, I suppose. I can always stop. Readjust. That's what you'd have to do in the real thing. You wouldn't just keep going. You'd just go, oh, well, if I miss it, I miss it, would you? You'd stabilise things first. It's always going to move, so we just have to hope for the best, I think. Keep it within those crosshairs. Ooh, that was close. 1.5 meters. One meter. 0.9, 0.8. 0.7. Ah. Is it going to drift back in? 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3. Oof. Oh, no. Not the last hurdle. Oh. Ah, I did it. I thought at the last second, then I overcompensated. Ah. Right. 2 space wins on Moon Monday. I'm happy with that. Success. Can you see that? Success. Look at it. Success. This time, I docked it, and it agrees with me. So it must be right. See that? See that? Look. Success. Look. I'm sorry, I'm really proud of that. I'm going to make absolutely sure that everybody can see this. Right. So sure that I've now messed up my screen so that I can't zoom back in. Success! Yeah, right. Let's unmess this up again. Right, okay. There we go. Back to that. You have successfully docked with the International Space Station. Follow SpaceX and NASA on Twitter. You don't think I'm not already doing that? Of course I'm already doing that. For updates on the commercial crew program as we prepare to send astronauts to the International Space Station from American soil, except now they've done it. The Crew Dragon mission DM2, Demo Mission 2, has gone up. They've spent several days on the station, quite a lot of days on the station, and they've come back down. And everything is good. So, yeah. Cool. So that was that then. Very hot day, and actually managed to win. So obviously the answer to the answer to this is that I have to only play games when I'm boiling hot. I don't know. Not necessarily the most intense games, I suppose. Well, the Moon one couldn't get intense, but And I'm sure the real thing for the real pilots of the Dragon, that can get pretty intense too up on the space station as well. But for me, I've got the luxury that I can crash it. It doesn't matter. Of course, the real thing, I haven't got that luxury. So, and if there's a real Moonbase, which there may well be in a few years' time, thanks to the efforts of SpaceX and NASA and other people, then actually both of these may be echoed in real life soon, not just this one. So I think I'm gonna leave it there for sort of first stream back. That wasn't too bad. Move the mic a bit closer. And yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't explain that today. I was gonna mention that. I a couple of weeks ago I wasn't really feeling very well. Nothing major. Just it was major in terms of digestive problems, I suppose, because don't go into too much detail. But I was pretty under the weather. And then it was a long weekend for my birthday, so I took Monday and Tuesday off, and I stayed local, stayed safe, of course, because of lockdown. But yeah, I had a really nice weekend. So it was like too under the weather to do streams, and then luckily feeling better in time for my birthday. And so I was doing stuff in real life outside of Twitch. So I'm never going to be intensively on Twitch. Sorry in advance. But I am aiming to do at least one a week, as and when I can, when assignments permit. And no uni now until the end of September. And there's real life permits, of course. But yeah, nice to get back into it, especially with 2 wins. Gosh, that's one way of getting back into it, isn't it? It won't always happen that way. And I'm sure as I get into more and more challenging games, it definitely won't be that way. So maybe, I stress maybe, because I've already done my 1 stream a week now. Although you could argue that I haven't done a stream last week or the week before, so I'm playing catch up. So should that be 3 streams this week? Maybe, I don't know. If I've got time and the energy, let's bear that in mind. But the most reliable one I've done is Tryout Tuesday. The Monday one's a new one. So Tryout Tuesday, I was going to go for a bit of a request from Pepperoni, who's been watching the stream. I was going to try out Apex Legends, but given how rubbish I am at Hyperscape, I had an email of Hyperscape, right? And it said that I'd had 5 kills in 28 matches in the open beta. I swear I only played about 4 matches in the open beta. I definitely got 0 kills, a grand total of 0 kills, and even if I lump together the open beta and the tech test that I played before it, so maybe they haven't seen the difference between the two, they just counted it all as the open beta, that could have been 28 matches. It could have been. That would work. But not 5 kills. But if you lump together all of the assists that I got, I managed some assists, when I was playing the team games. Maybe that amounts to 5, and okay, it's very nice of them to count them as me doing a lot better than I actually did. Thanks, Hyperscape. It was a bit weird. It felt like a bit like when I went to the one of these laser quests. The type of place, right? You put on a electronic target, and you've got a laser gun, and you run around and pretend you're in a computer game with varying degrees of success depending on how good the scenery is. And I came out of this game and the other guy had taken the slip. I'd actually won the game, but the other guy had taken the slip, thinking he was the winner, and I was actually the winner as it turned out, but I ended up getting the losing slip. So it was nice. It was like the reverse of that. It was like I knew I definitely lost every game I played, with some positives coming from the fact that I got some assists, but I definitely lost. Yet I came out with a slip that said I'd won 5 times, or little wins, I suppose. I hadn't won the game, wins was 0, but I had supposedly managed 5 times to, it wasn't me. So it was a bit bizarre, but there we are. So that's tomorrow as well, but I can't really count that as Tryout Tuesday because I've already played that. And I'm trying to keep Tryout Tuesday as and when I do it, as being a game I haven't tried before. Got a good friend of mine as well, good friend of mine since college, who has been recommending games to me, so I'm going to try some of those out at some point. Not necessarily all tomorrow, no, it might not even be tomorrow, there might not be one tomorrow. But yeah, I've got loads lined up that I could try, so much that I haven't even downloaded it all yet. So yeah, anything goes. And another plus for tonight, even though I normally say try out Tuesdays also for technical trials, today, new studio. Excuse me, exactly the same as the old studio, just a little bit more 3D. The internet seems to have held out. Look at this. I mean, I've not seen it flash red once. Then again, I haven't been playing any games that need internet access. Well, okay, the ISS simulator does need internet access, but once it's loaded into the browser, it's ready to go. So it doesn't need to constantly be feeding back and forth to the internet, really. Not, I don't think so. I don't think it does. And Moonbase Alpha, obviously, I set it up as a local game only, so that will only have been on my computer, really. Shall we raid someone then? I noticed actually Thorny Flower, who's somebody I watch all the time, was live now. I felt a bit mean going live at the same time because I try not to clash with people, but you can't think like that because there's always going to be somebody live at the same time as you. It's just the way it goes. It's like a festival, isn't it? But I will raid them if they're still on. Raid Thorny Flower if she's still on. She is. Should we do that then? Not normally on at this time of day, so I'm not used to it being this late for Thorny Flower. So yeah, cheers for watching, and if you're with me, I recommend Thorny Flower, obviously, and see you anon.